Hi guys. We are dealing with the other subject of TNTEU amid second semester notes, that is philosophy of education. Okay, we have already discussed little chapters of curriculum design and development. This is philosophy of education, so we are dealing with all the important points of each chapter. Okay, if you learn this, you will get good marks in your exams. Okay, so please do like and subscribe the video. Those haven't subscribed, please subscribe the video and also like the video. So we can move on to the first unit of philosophy of education, that is fundamentals of philosophy of education. Unit 1, fundamentals of philosophy of education. So here we should first of all define what is philosophy. It is love of wisdom, and it is also teaching learning methods, and the education objectives are based on philosophy. Next we should mention the topic education and philosophy. Education derives aims and teaching methods from philosophy. They two are closely related. They are the two sides of the coin. These are the important points from the education and philosophy. And we have the gifts of philosophy to education. We have 4 points. That is, it understands man's life. It helps in making decisions, beliefs, and assumptions. It gives orientation to our thinking, and the outcome is it helps to reach the outcome. Next, we can move on to philosophy of education. Next is philosophy of education. First of all, we should say the meaning. It is a foundation for making the aim, objectives, and curriculum of education. Then definition. Adams define as education philosophy is the active side of philosophy. Next comes concept of philosophy of education. There are 3 points: integration of education and philosophy, broad view of education, then comes general principle of education. You can write this in sentence. That's enough. Next comes main. What is the main objective of education? It is desirable change in the behavior of students. Next comes concepts of education. There we have 3 points, that is education in agreement with social background. Next, informal approach to education, and formal system approach to education. So here a formal system of approach to education is social agency, mentioning about the social agency. So these 3 points you should elaborate with the uh, explanation for the points. Okay. Next comes philosophy and education. Philosophy is the foundation, and education can be considered as the building constructed on these foundation. Okay, so you should define as philosophy and education these points. Next comes the 4 points inside it is philosophy and objectives of education, then curriculum and philosophy, philosophy and teachers, philosophy and student discipline. You should elaborate these points with 2 or 3 sentences. Okay. Next comes relationship between education and philosophy. There we have you should write in a para, that is you should write in the sentences these points. That is, it based on wisdom, principles, and questions critically. It is closely related, and it is about the fundamental truth. Next comes significance of philosophy of education. There we have 4 points. You should write in a paras enough. That is, understand educational processes. Objective of it is educational institutions. Prepare aim for teachers. Curriculum prepare based on the philosophy of education. Next comes branches of philosophy. We have 13 branches. That is ethics, logic, metaphysics, epistemology, history of philosophy, philosophy of mind, philosophy of science, philosophy of mathematics, philosophy of arts, philosophy of language, philosophy of education, philosophy of history, philosophy of religion. I have left the 13th one, so please write your notes, that is philosophy of religion. Okay. So here comes first one, ethics. Ethics means moral science. Under ethics we have 5 branches, that is political ethics, social ethics, legal ethics, medical ethics, business ethics. Political ethics means of the country can be controlled by the government. How far the individuals of the country can be controlled by the government. Next comes social ethics. It is basis for education for all. Then legal ethics means about law, And medical ethics means subject that deals with the doctor and their medical practices. Business ethics means contradictions between business profits and ethical discipline. Okay. Next comes logics. Logic is about cause and effect relationship. Okay. Next come metaphysics, that does research on truth objects. Next comes epistemology. It makes researches on the nature of knowledge. Next comes history of philosophy. It deals with origin and development of philosophy as a subject. Next comes philosophy of mind. It answer the questions like what is mind. Then comes philosophy of science. It deals with how science operates. Then comes philosophy of mathematics. It explains the mathematical symbols and about it. Philosophy of arts, it studies the nature of arts. Philosophy of language deals with how languages are related. Philosophy of education, it deals with how a student can be changed so that they learn well. Next comes philosophy of history, it deals with historical research. Okay. One point, I told you I have left one point, that is philosophy of religion. It deals with philosophy of religion deals with God. Okay. Next comes the scope of educational philosophy. Next comes scope of education philosophy. We should mention a para, that is, it is an interpretation of human nature. It related to the problems of aims of education. It related to problems related to educational values, and we have many points there. That is it. We should elaborate on the points. Interpretation of human nature. Then comes aims of education and its ideals. Under aims of education and its ideals, we have little points, that is education for all, strengthening democracy, civic development, human resource development, harmonious human development, preparing people for adult education, science and technology development. Then third point is values of education, and fourth point is theory of knowledge, and fifth point is system of education. Okay, next comes function of educational philosophy. You should elaborate these for 1, 2, 3, 5 points. You should elaborate, that is interpretation of human nature, aims of education and its ideals. Aims of education and ideals, I have given already points, 7 to 8 points. You should elaborate with that points. Then comes values of education, theory of knowledge and system of education. You should elaborate with these points. Next comes functions of educational philosophy. Here we have 9 points. You should elaborate with each and every point. That is, it determines the aims of education. A second point is make a harmony between the old and the new tradition of education. Third point, giving progressive thoughts to educational planners, administrators and educationists for educational development. Then fourth point is helping the modern youth to face the challenges of their lives. Then fifth point is knowledge about curriculum. Sixth point is knowledge about teaching methods. Seventh point is knowledge about the discipline of students. Eighth point is knowledge about duties of teachers and students. Ninth point is knowledge about school system and its functions. So you should elaborate all these 9 points. Okay, if you know the points, you can elaborate from the points itself. So study the points very well and make sentences, 2 or 3 sentences with these points. That's all. Okay, with that, with the heading itself, you can make the points. That's the point. That's why I have given just mentioned the points. Okay. So hope you have got the first chapter, what is unit 1, that is fundamentals of philosophy of education. Hope you like the video. So please do like and subscribe the video for more videos. Okay. Thank you everyone. We can meet in the next video, the second chapter of philosophy of education. Okay. Thank you everyone.